What's going on? Welcome to Asian Cosell. So give me the HKO special. Help the king out. Hit the like, subscribe, and comment. All right, let's get into it. The LA Chargers hired Jim Harbaugh. So let's get right into this right here. So there you go. The hiring of Jim Harbaugh. Yep, Chargers hired Jim Harbaugh. Los Angeles new coach returns to the NFL after leading Michigan to a national title. So Harbaugh went 14-19 with the 49ers searching for the Super Bowl in the 2012 season. So there is Jim Harbaugh. So let's get into this article here. The Los Angeles Chargers has hired Michigan's Jim Harbaugh as their next head coach as the team announced Wednesday that both sides agreed to the terms. So Harbaugh has been the top target for the Chargers, and the coach has been looking to jump back to the NFL ranks. The last several years, winning the national championship at Michigan, his alma mater, was crucial for Harbaugh to comfortably leave for the NFL. My love for Michigan, playing there and coming back to coach there, leaves a lasting impact. I'll always be a loyal Wolverine, Harbaugh said in a statement released by the Chargers. I'm remarkably fortunate to have afforded the privilege of coaching at places where life's journey has created strong personal connections for me. From working from an assistant coach at Western Kentucky alongside my father Jack, and time as an assistant with the Raiders to being a head coach at USD, Stanford, 49ers, Michigan, each of these opportunities carries significance. Each felt personal. When I played for the Chargers, the Spanos family could have not been more gracious or more welcoming. Being back here feels like home, and it's great to see that those things haven't changed. So the only job you start at the top is digging a hole. So we know we got to earn our way, be better today than yesterday, be better tomorrow than today. My priorities, faith, family, football are we are going to attack each with enthusiasm unknown to mankind. This organization is putting in the work, investing capital, building infrastructure, and doing everything within its power to win. Great effort equals great results, and we're just getting started. So Harbaugh, 60, has won everywhere he's coached. He went 29-6 at the U of SD before turning Stanford around just 3 years, and 4 years with the Niners. He went to 3 NFC championship games and narrowly lost Super Bowl. The last 9 years, he's held Michigan, and in the last 3 years, he's gone undefeated against Ohio State and made it to 3 college football playoffs. And Michigan will look to fill his shoes. Won't be easy. So Harbaugh initially interviewed for the Chargers on the 15th, and there was always a strong desire to make a second interview. That took place Tuesday at the team facilities. Harbaugh is expected to bring in Jesse Minter, the Michigan defensive coordinator, with him, according to sources. And the Chargers searches committee consists of team owner Dean Spanos, president of operations John Spanos, and President Operations AJ Spanos. So EVP and Chief Operation Janine uh, and Chief of Staff Fred Moss. So VP of Cultural Program and Culture James Collins, and Chief Administrative Officer Catherine Eastate, and EB of Football Player Finance Ed McGuire. So Jim Harbaugh is football is personified, and I think no one is better to lead the Chargers forward, said Dean Spanos in a press release. The son of a coach, brother of a coach, and a father of a coach who coached by names like Schemblacher and Ditka for the last 2 decades. Jim has led hundreds of men to success everywhere he's been. As their coach, and today Jim Harbaugh returns to the Chargers as time is our coach who is better than us. And Harbaugh flirted with the return to the league each of the 2 years, but he interviewed twice with the Vikings, found the job in 21. Last year, he and the Denver Broncos had strong mutual interest, according to multiple sources, but ultimately the two sides did not get a deal done. One source said Harbaugh opted against further pursuing the Broncos last year when he determined he had a good chance to win the national title at Michigan in the 23 season. So CBS Sports previously reported Panthers owner David Tepper had a conversation with Harbaugh after the coach or someone on his behalf called a Carolina multiple times during last year's coaching cycle, but the Panthers never officially interviewed Harbaugh in either of their two coaching searches. Harbaugh did meet in person with Falcons owner Arthur Blank on the 16th for an initial interview. He and the team had suddenly set up another person interview for later this weekend that obviously won't take place. So Atlanta and former Patriots head coach Bill Belichick remain linked at the Falcons continue their head coaching search with more scheduled in-person interviews this week. So the Chargers interviewed 15 coaches for their vacant position, but Harbaugh was always the leading candidate as long as he was ready to jump back to the NFL. LA interviewed most of the candidates virtually, but did bring in former defensive coordinator Leslie Frazier and former Stanford head coach David Shaw for an in-person interview last week. For those two internal interviews, candidates with a desired background fulfill what the league's Rooney Rule. It allowed the Chargers to move forward with Harbaugh hiring without needing to bring in another coach in person. So the hiring Harbaugh is a huge hire for the Chargers franchise in need of fresh leadership. Since 2010, the Chargers have gone to the playoffs and just won 2 postseasons. So the Chargers fired Stanley after 2+ with the team. Stanley, a former defense coach, fast rise in a pro coaching race, compiled a 24-24 record, but failed to produce a playoff victory. And LA's 27-point wild card collapse last year against the Jacks put Stanley on notice for the 23, and his 63-21 defeat against the Raiders sealed his fate. So, Harbaugh is tasked with maximizing Justin Herbert as a quarterback enters his early prime. The Chargers haven't won the AFC West since 2009. They face Kansas City twice a year. That has dominated both division and the conference. So Chargers need to hire general manager after firing longtime Tom Telesco in Week 15. So the team read for a head coach and GM concurrently, and LA has interviewed 9 GM candidates. A majority of candidates had some level of personal affiliation with Harbaugh or his agent Don V. So until Wednesday, the Chargers have interviewed just one candidate in person. Don Aponte, an NFL representative office, met with team on interview and reported onto the day of the 2 weeks after conclusion of the regular season. So according to sources, they brought in Giants assistant Brandon Brown for a second interview, the meeting, and Ravens director expected it in person. So since January 13th. So it will not be certain if the Chargers move quickly to hire GM to pair with Harbaugh. It's unclear where Harbaugh would have authority over personal matter, and sources previously indicate that wasn't necessary. So meanwhile, Michigan, Sherrone Moore has been presumed to be the next head coach. He and the Wolverines are 4-0 with Harbaugh serving multiple suspensions, including a 3-game suspension related to the in-person scouting scandal that rocked college football world. So Moore has spent last several months preparing the staff in anticipation of Harbaugh's departure. So that's where we're at with Jim Harbaugh. And of course, Sherrone Moore, going to become the next head coach at Michigan. But Harbaugh now signed a 5-year deal with the Chargers, and he is filling out his staff as we speak right now, because there's a lot of work to be done for Jim Harbaugh. So so this is the time. And the AFC West, Andy Reid with Kansas City, Sean Payton with Denver, Antonio Pierce, and now Jim Harbaugh. Man, that is going to be one tough division in the AFC West, man. It is going to be, crazy on how that's going to go. So who's going to win it? Who's going to take it, man? We don't know, man. It's going to be. And I know Kansas City's always the front runner, but there could be a change in the guard of who takes over that division. So, so we'll see what happens. And the future remains bright for all the teams, even my Raiders. So we'll see. All right, if you enjoyed any of this content, please give me the HKO special help the king out. Hit the like, subscribe, and comment. So wherever you are, stay safe and see you in my next video.